Heather Collins, occupation bank manager, age 34. An eagle's feather. There are no towns or cities in Heather Collins's dreams tonight, only a few distant buildings perched on a hilltop or tucked away in the folds of hills. The topography of her dreams is strictly rural, painterly. Her dreamscape is a place of fields and dry stone walls, woods, mountains, limestone outcrops, cairns, streams and waterfalls, standing stones, high-flying clouds, hills and bridges, pebbly shores and swirling waves. She's conscious that she is alone. She knows that she's lost, but she's beguiled by the sensation of having lost her bearings. Heather works in a bank. At the age of 34, she is one of the very few women who run their own branch. To get where she has got, she has had to devote herself entirely to her career, dedicated her every waking moment to the job. But now, just for a short time, she's off duty, not thinking about the bank or its customers. It's 3:52 a.m., the dead of night, and Heather has just entered a period of REM, or rapid eye movement sleep, and is dreaming. How do we know this? Well, the signs are there if you know where to look, but be careful not to wake her. Her closed eyes are darting about. Certain neurons in the pontine tegmentum area of her brainstem are snapping, crackling and popping. There's also activity in those parts of her brain that control sight, hearing, smell, touch, balance and body movement. Almost as much activity as you would find there during the day. Meanwhile, the release of key neurotransmitters, particularly serotonin and histamine, has ceased completely. Now she's in a shed or summer house of some kind. It has a large picture window which frames the world outside. A stream with cow parsley on its banks is winding past a huge beech tree with exposed roots, like the flying buttresses of a cathedral. Other smaller trees are scattered behind. Red cows are grazing at the water's edge. A large grey wading bird is poised on one leg by a stand of reeds. A path leads away from her and up a hill strewn with boulders. The silence is absolute. There is no wind, no birdsong. The water makes no sound. A number of objects decorate the windowsill. A fir cone, a sea urchin shell, a pot of white pansies, 3 leather-bound books, a curly wooden candlestick with a stub of candle, an eagle's feather. In her dream, Heather knows that it is an eagle's feather. Each of these objects has a particular significance which is eluding her. The smell of warm dust hangs in the air. On the desk by the window is a pad of lined paper with writing on it. She can see that she is holding a pen, so she must have written it, but has no memory of having done so. Perhaps she's been describing what she can see out of the window. She tries to read what she has written, but she can't make sense of the words. This strikes her as very funny, and she wants to laugh out loud, but she doesn't dare break the silence. REM sleep is one of the 5 phases of sleep. When we fall asleep, we pass through 1, the lightest, to 4, the deepest, and then through these phases in reverse before experiencing between 5 and 15 minutes of REM sleep. The whole cycle lasts about 90 minutes and repeats throughout the night. Heather went to bed around 11, which means that she has already had 2 periods of dreaming and can look forward to 2 more before her alarm radio goes off and John Humphreys starts to insinuate himself into her consciousness. In her first dream, she is standing on a rudimentary wooden bridge which is supported by stilt-like legs. Beneath her, huge waves slop and crash, but the water is crystal clear. In the depths at the foot of one of the pilings supporting the bridge, she can see a beautiful golden fish. It doesn't move. Her second dream took place in a large clearing in a wood with the sunlight pouring through. There are 3 cyclists. One is in the far distance, scarcely more than a silhouette. One is in the foreground, so close that she feels she can touch him. He is looking away from her. A third is placed exactly in the middle of her visual field. He is waving, but Heather is not sure which of the other cyclists he is waving to. And then it occurs to her that he is waving to her. Why is she dreaming these things? She's dreaming them in order to stay asleep, to ensure her body's necessary rest. Freud said dreams were guardians of sleep. They are the brain's laid-on entertainment, Without them, sleep would simply be too boring to bear. And besides, Heather would feel guilty about, haunted by, such a conspicuous waste of time, all those hours not devoted to driving her career forward. Like the rest of us, Heather dreams 4 or 5 times every night. That's around 1,800 dreams a year. In 34 years, she has had more than 60,000 dreams. Every one of them as detailed, unique and strange as tonight's. And almost every one of them has vanished without a trace, as though they had never been. Even these most recent excursions into this landscape of her own making are already beginning to fade. When she wakes in the morning, almost nothing of them will remain. But as she showers and dresses and gets ready to leave, she will be gently teased by the memory of a feather on a windowsill and particles of dust swirling in warm air. These fragments will linger a little longer than the rest, although they too will be gone by noon. But her dreams will have done their job, and the day ahead of her will be just that bit easier to endure than it would otherwise have been.